Okay, go ahead.
So there are 3 points in the ankle I'm going to talk about. One's called the lateral ankle, right? A point up in the calf. Upper mid-calf is called the extension ankle or flexion ankle.
Oh. Yeah, that would be good.
And there's a point right on the tendon of tibialis anterior, this big muscle that comes down here. And there's a point right there in the front. Those are 3 points, right? So what's this lateral point called?
Lateral.
What is this point up in the...
Flexion ankle.
Yeah. Okay, flexion ankle, and here's an extension ankle, right on the tendon of tibialis anterior.
Oh, that's the extension.
Yeah.
So that's the same?
What's that?
So you have anterior tibial tendon and extension ankle as separate, but they're...
Flexion ankle, correct. If I wrote extension, write flexion.
We already have that.
So, in the foot, they don't do flexion extension. They talk about dorsiflexion, and they talk about plantar flexion, right? So that point is the plantar flexion point up in the calf.
Oh, in the
The
calf.
the flexion ankle.
We're to call it plantar flexion ankle,
Plantar.
okay? The anterior tibial point, we're to call dorsiflexion ankle. And we have a lateral ankle point.
So dorsiflexion.
And that's all we're doing for the ankle. Now,
Thank God.
Just
Oh.
one at the
Okay,
tibialis.
just a second. Dorsiflexion ankle is what you had, is the one on the tendon?
yeah,
Tibialis.
yeah.
Anterior.
Right next to the anterior tibial tendon. It's not really right on the tendon, it's a little bit medial to it. It's like in the ankle, and it's not a happy point.
No. What is the calf point called? Plantar flexion.
Next two.
So here's the plantar fascia, is it not? If I flex toward the plantar fascia, what might you suspect it's called?
Plantar flexion.
Plantar flexion. If this is the dorsum of the foot, and I go into the dorsum of the foot, dorsiflexion. Good. And if I turn the ankle laterally, what might
Lateral.
lateral? Yeah. Good. That's it. Knee points.
That's it.
Well, that's all for now.
Okay.
Okay. Knee points. Pardon me.
Oops.
Plantar flexion and dorsiflexion.
This isn't the order we're going to do them in, but relax. Oh, let's get rid of this.
Plantar flexion or
So what we're looking at, here's the, okay, big breath, move into present time, we move from the ankle. What you might realize is that we're going to repeat this a bunch of times because it doesn't make sense for me to expect you to know this the first time. I'm blowing through it the first time. We're going to repeat it like another 4 times, and you're going to do it. So what is it called? Forget that. Just, I went through there are 3 points in the ankle, they're here. If you got it crystal clear, great. If you didn't, if you think you got it crystal clear, tomorrow you'll realize you didn't. And let's just move on and move to the knee, okay?
The knee.
So, here's the patella. The what?
Patella.
It's a little round thing, okay? And there's a medial patellar point and a lateral patellar point.
Okay.
And an inferior patellar point right in the tendon. And let's say we find a really tender point right there on the patella. Which direction do you think we might push the patella in? Toward that point, right? Generally, there's a net that holds this patella on the leg called the retinaculum. And that retinaculum seems to have a lot of stretch receptors in it. And if it gets real confused, then there's this tender point that gets set up that gets eliminated, disappears, when you just slide the patella toward that direction. So this is really easy. Wherever we find, and there might be at the ordinal directions, not the cardinal directions, but it might be northwest, southwest, southeast. Wherever you find a point on the patella, you just slide. It doesn't matter what you name it. You just slide the patella toward that point, and it will happily go away. A lot of people have the condition where their quads are tighter, too tight for their hamstrings, and that yanks the patella up in a position where when they move it grinds into their femur. Not a very happy condition, called patella alta. And those people have a really nasty tender point in the patellar tendon, right below the patella or on the patella itself. And guess what you do there? You just milk the patella down. That's what I'm doing. And you can't see, but I'm not on the patella. I'm behind it and beneath it. If I'm actually on the patella, I'm going to grind it into the femur, which is really going to piss it off, right? And so I'm under it. I'm sort of milking it with the soft tissue around it. Okay? It kind of feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It feels great.
Yep.
I like nudging it down there.
Yeah. And there's an exercise you can teach them to do themselves to continue to milk the patella downward.
On the tendon at the bottom.
Yeah, it's at 6 o'clock. If this were a clock face, the common points are 3 and 9 o'clock and 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Now, 3 and 9 o'clock are easy because you can just put 2 thumbs on and sort of nudge the patella over. But because you've got this big muscle here and a lot more resistance, you kind of have to get thumb and first finger kind of underneath and sort of milk it down. And even then, I was under it. Even when I slid it there, I could feel some crepitus, some grinding as the patella slid down. So those are easy. Very often, have I talked about co-contraction?
No. Reciprocal innervation.
Well, it relates to reciprocal innervation. Who knows what reciprocal innervation is? Please.
The way I understand it would.
Here, there's a point. There are 2 points on the outside. Tend to be a little sore. Yep.
On each side of this?
On each side, they're the same point, and there's one in the middle.
That's an acupuncture point.
Um,
The one in the middle?
maybe. We're going to make it go away without acupuncture.
That's a bladder.
Does that bladder meridian?
Where? Straight down
Bladder
from the knee?
55.
Is where? In the middle?
So each of these Jones relates to the anterior and posterior cruciates. The resolution for the 2 on the outside was they're basically going to shear the tibia posterior on the femur. I'll show you how we do that in another time. And the one in the middle, we're going to shear the femur posterior on the tibia. There's one other point. Roll back over, please.
Well, wait, while you're there, can you show us the calf point? Because we didn't see that when you were underneath. Just a minute.
Oh,
On your
that's
back,
where
please.
the gastric meniscus comes in.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is that-
Yeah, in the middle. It's between the two in between the 2 bellies of the gastroc.
Okay, that's
One of the best bladder points.
It is.
And then there are actually 2 points. 2 more points. How many points?
2 more.
Thank you. There's an orthopedic saying, or a saying in the orthopedic surgery world, that joint line tenderness is a torn meniscus until proven otherwise. Right? That's what they say.
Oh, okay.
I mean, in their world, it's true. It's their reality,
But that's how they see.
of course. And they don't see anybody that does any manual revision, so why not,
I believe.
So the female space on the medial aspect and the female space on the lateral aspect is where, do you all know Rita, by the way? Rita, please? Everybody?
Hi, Rita.
Okay.
Shoot, I don't know if we met. I'm Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. I met you in New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Cool. We've been journeying together a very long time.
We have been.
Rita is a member of our circle, one of our sisters. Yeah.
We love.
She's been really missing being here all week.
I know. I've been here.
We've been missing having you here.
Thank you.
So if we go to tibia and femur, there's a female space right between, right? Douse the female space, just like we did with other places, palpating into the joint line. That's a good spot right there.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that's a medial meniscus point, he calls it. And then joint line laterally, find some over there, not so bad.
Not so bad.
Not talking, but this medial one's talking. Okay, and that's all we're looking for. Could I have that bolster, the green one?
I
at
should
your
have
feet
saved
away?
that for in the morning. Maybe you practice.
I don't want to leave. I'm not going to show you the medial meniscus revision. This might be too soft. This will give you the idea. Lift up your leg, please. Down. The revision for the posterior, for the anterior. No, wait, hold on. Yeah, this is ACL. The revision for anterior cruciate, we want, which is when you test it, you pull the tibia away from the femur, and if it just glides and doesn't lock up, then it's torn. So what we're doing is we're going to shorten it. So we've got this little bolster back here. I'm turning my arm this way. I'm locking my little heel of my hand here on the tibial plateau, and I'm just basically,
Compressing.
well, I'm not compressing. I'm shearing. If this is the tibia, the femur, I'm doing that. I'm shearing it off, I'm driving it posteriorly. So I'm shearing it posteriorly and probably with some little external rotation. So it looks like that. It's an amazing thing.
It's awesome.
Because the point will disappear and their joint will unwind.
And you
Very
start-
cool.
How did your hand start off?
Turn and heel. The only way, bless you, the only way you can really not use your arm, I don't want to use any of my body weight, any of my muscle strength here. It's all body weight. So, lift up here. This is the PCL, point, posterior cruciate ligament, which is I just come here, hold here, heel of my hand now is going the femur, and I'm now shearing the femur posteriorly on a fixed tibia. Like that. Usually they don't like to have a lot of pressure on their quad, but we can't help it. And I would be monitoring the point with my other hand. So, and that's it. Just to give you a little preview of coming attractions. Can I have a chair, please? Oh. Here's our point. What I'm doing is I'm dropping the leg. Let go. Leg. I'm dropping the leg off the table. This is medial meniscus.
Okay.
And I'm bringing it back to a place where I feel the tenderness drop significantly. And I can rest her leg on my thigh. And then I'm going to internally rotate or externally rotate. Now the ease is internal rotation. How's that point feel? Gone?
No.
So I can increase a little bit and rotate a little bit. How's that now? Good. That's what the point looks like.
So it's what the body wants, either external or
Yeah, yeah. Usually internal for the medial, external for the lateral. And that's it. Good. This is the first time we're seeing